Today, I wanted to, I guess, do a real quick video on. I know I do all this vaping stuff, and I do videos on juice reviews and stuff. But for the people that have emailed me and stuff that are still like in the process of quitting and not knowing what to expect, I want to kind of give my thoughts on that a little bit and my experiences. Um, when you smoke, you're smoking anywhere between 2 to 4,000 other chemicals. Now I know Philip Morris or R.J. Reynolds or one of them released a list showing the chemicals that they put into their tobacco or into their cigarettes, but you don't take into account that those they're only talking about like the different things that they put in there as they're named at that point. A lot of flavorings and stuff. Just like with e-juice, people tell you, oh, there's only 4 chemicals in there or 4 ingredients or whatever. It's not entirely true because each one of those flavorings is made up of multiple other ingredients. So there's more than 4. But there's also more than 250 in the tobacco cigarettes. So when you come off of those, first off, what you're going to want to do is, depending on the type of cigarette that you smoked, that's going to be the vape that you want to start to have. So I would start off with like an RY4, which is a tobacco and vanilla and caramel flavor, and whatever nicotine level you start off with. Like, let's just say you're a pack-a-day smoker of Marlboro Blacks like me. I started off way too high because I started off on Cigalikes, and I started it at 48 milligrams per milliliter of e-liquid. Um, sorry. So I started off at 48 milligrams per milliliter, which is a lot. When I switched to a CE Ford Cardo, I went down to 24. Then I quickly dropped to 18. Then I hit 6, and then I went to 0. You're still going to go through your withdrawals because you're not withdrawing off of nicotine. You're withdrawing off of the other chemicals that are in there. And basically, when you smoke, the little celiac hairs that are on the inside of your lungs, the little celiac hairs that are on the inside of your lungs, those are basically like a brush for your lungs. Those are basically what filters out the impurities and stuff in the air that you breathe. Well, when you smoke, you basically paralyze those, so they get all kind of bedded down with kind of gunk and all other kinds of shit that's in there. But when you stop, all that stuff starts to clear up. So you're still going to go through your coughing. You're still going to have the phlegm and all the other shit that has been hanging out in your lungs while you've been a smoker. You're still going to go through withdrawals because, like I said, you're not withdrawing off of nicotine. You're withdrawing off of other chemicals. Anyway, you're withdrawing off of other chemicals. Nicotine in and of itself is about as addictive as good old caffeine over here. Yep, my giant mug. I don't care, but it's about as addictive as caffeine. Um, it's those other chemicals in there the tar and all the other stuff, the arsenic. They even put chocolate in there too, which is why RY4 is such an effective way. A tobacco vape is such an effective way to get current smokers off of the stinky sticks, because RY4 is a familiar flavor. Not only is it because it's a tobacco flavor, but because they put chocolate to cure tobacco. If you didn't, they didn't do that, it would be harsh. They have all kinds of sweeteners, all kinds of chocolate and stuff in there as a way to make the tobacco less harsh because, you know, natural tobacco is harsh. Okay. Now the nicotine hit isn't going to hit you as hard. It's not going to hit you as hard as it would in the timeout. Sorry, I wanted to put my hat back. Now the nicotine hit won't hit you as hard because the nicotine in a tobacco cigarette is free based, meaning they add ammonia to it to basically freebase it and isolate the nicotine, which is why it hits so much harder. I do vape nicotine from time to time. You'll be able to tell mostly when the juices are nicotine. I'll tell you why. For example, I have got Finley's right here. This is a zero nic. It's an amber color, pretty transparent. Now, nicotine oxidizes, so when you have a nicotine juice, it'll look more like this. This is this a 3 or a 6? 3 milligrams, which means 3 milligrams per milliliter. So that's 100 mil. That's a 100 milliliter bottle. And so basically there's 300 milligrams of nicotine in that entire bottle because it's 3 milligrams per milliliter of e-juice in a 100 ml bottle. I travel around with some 3s, some 6s. Mostly I vape zeros, but hey, sometimes, let's put it this way. Work the last week or so has been really fucking stressful because of shit that's going on there. And basically we're down to a skeleton crew. And it just really sucks because you got just a few people, depending on what night it is, to do double the work of what we need, of what we have the people for. But it's just, sometimes that's where the cookie crumbles. I'm just glad to be able to have a paycheck. So, but yeah. Anyway, so the nicotine in that is not free based, meaning that they don't add ammonia to it to isolate it. So, what I would suggest is, let's just say it takes you 5 minutes to smoke a cigarette, right? Vape for 10 minutes. It will eventually hit you. Trust me. Trust me, it'll hit you. But it won't be as it's not going to hit you as readily. Like you get a tobacco cigarette and boom, like right then and there you feel it. With vaping, it takes a minute. I might be 4 or 5 hits in before I start to feel the effects of it. So it is what it is. And that's just my, you're still going to go through the withdrawals. You're still going to go through maybe mood swings. I don't know about you, but like one of the girls at work, I'm going to equate it to when I quit smoking. She, if I go all day without eating, I can't not eat all day. I have to eat something. I get really lightheaded. I get like a headache. It's just, I don't have to eat a whole lot, and it doesn't have to be like sugar-filled stuff. So it's not, I get tested for diabetes and stuff because it does run in my family. But, which is one of the reasons why I drink a lot of tea and stuff, is because tea helps combat stuff like that, especially green tea or yerba mate. It's she called me hangry one time. I was like, what do you mean? She's like, I never seen you get like that. She's like, you were snapping because you because you were hungry, because I had a headache and stuff. She's like, you don't get hungry, you get hangry. You're still gonna go through those same things with cigarettes. You know, you might experience the mood swings, the mood changes when you don't have nicotine, or when you'll if you had nicotine free juice. I recommend that you don't start on zero nic. Um, but Midnight's making a guest appearance. Hey, Mitty. Hi, Mitty. I love you too. I love you too, buddy. Um, he's now the star of the show. Right here. Anyway, um, so you're still gonna have those because there's other stuff that you're withdrawing off of. But like I said, you just vape for a few minutes longer than you would if you were smoking a cigarette, and generally it'll catch up to you. You'll get your nick buzz. You'll feel satisfied, and then are you walking on me? He was walking on me, and then go about your day, man. Um, the one thing I do recommend, I want to wrap this video up real quick, is follow all of the laws of your local area. So even if something doesn't explicitly say no vaping, if you're in a non-smoking area, don't be a douchebag. Don't vape where smokers can't smoke. Um, I understand. I get it. It's not smoke. It's not cigarettes. Not tobacco. I get it. But right now, with all the things that are going on with the FDA, the last thing we need is some asshole out there blowing huge clouds. You know, you're sitting in a fucking building somewhere, in a business or in a business area, going, blow. I got my fan on, so it doesn't look as big, but blowing huge clouds, sitting in an office building or wherever you're at, blowing clouds, because the majority, the people who don't vape equate smoking with vaping. The people who don't vape, they don't know the difference. They're ignorant to it. Not saying like they're ignorant people, but I'm saying they don't know about the topic. So they just tie those two together because it looks like smoke. It does. So they don't know these things. So follow your local laws. Don't if you're in a no smoking area, don't vape. Just be as respectful as you can. You don't want city ordinances coming down saying, putting vaping bans or some other kind of stupid stuff like that, right? So don't be out there looking for the attention of the wrong type of people. If these regulations were put in place by people who did vape, they would be different because we understand it. We understand the industry. We understand the products. We know these things. But these regulations that are being put in place are being put in place by people that don't know the industry, that don't know the products, that don't know what vaping is. So we're being tied together as smokers because of all this misinformation that Big Tobacco puts out and everything. Don't give them any more ammunition. Don't do it. Just if you want to vape, make sure you're in an area where you can vape at. Hit your vape, and just realize that we have a long way to go in this. Okay, there's a long way to go in this, and a lot of it is to be done on the ground level with us, with the vapors, with the people that are at the very lowest part of this industry. And we are part of the industry because if you do vape reviews or even if you just vape, you're part of the industry. If you contribute to it in any way, you're part of it. That's how the community as a whole treats its people, the people that are part of it, man. I could go to Cloud Chasers Inc. right now and message Jonathan Harris. And although he's a vape shop owner and makes juice, and all I do is some little piddly small time reviews, he wouldn't consider himself any less part of the industry, or he wouldn't consider me any less part of the industry than he is, because that's, there's a bond there. There's a bond there. And people want to see this cultish or ridiculous. You can see it as that if you want to, but there's a bond there, and every one of us that's part of this industry has a responsibility to help fight the attitudes that people have about us. Um, you know, you're not seeing Pip from Suicide Bunny out there. I don't know why I said that. I actually don't even like that company, but you know what I mean. You're not seeing the big juice makers out there. Um, you're more likely to have an encounter with someone like us, someone like me, or Jonathan Harris, or any of the members of Cloud Chasers Inc. or Juice Junkies or whatever. You're more likely to see someone like us with the layman of the industry than you are to see the big people. And each one of us has a slice of the responsibility cake that we have to fulfill, and it it's everybody's piece of the pie is the same size. So that said, I'm gonna get going. I gotta go do some things today. It's a busy day. My Knicks lost. My Giants lost. Notre Dame lost. Actually, my Knicks lost twice this week. Not a good sports week for me, but whatever. All right, man. And I guess I will talk to you guys later. Gambler, if you got through this video, I do know that I owe you so far 24 eggs. 24. I'm going to wait till after the Oakland game and do them all at once. That way, it's only one more time I have to clean up my backyard. Later.